Take 21. Is your life kinda complicated? Welcome to One Take, the podcast designed to seek wisdom to live simple, healthy, and happy. We'll get there one take at a time. I'm your host, Yezmin Thomas. Welcome everyone to Take 21 of One Take, the podcast. I am your host, Yezmin Thomas, and as usual, I am super grateful and honored to have you join me. I would like to start by telling you that I really appreciate how you guys have been connecting with me through social media, Facebook especially, asking questions, telling me that the podcast is helping you and that you're sharing it with your friends, telling me that the conversations that we're having here are helping you to reflect and to think of ways that you can improve your own lives. I really appreciate you guys because that's the point of doing this, to hopefully inspire you to make whatever changes you need to, small or big, right now, whichever stage in your life you find yourself at, to live a more fulfilling life. If you haven't left me a written review and a rating on iTunes, I would really like to ask you and invite you to please take a minute. It takes a minute of your day to do that. Those reviews are very important because they tell other listeners that may be looking for some content to listen to. They tell them what the show is about, and also it helps rank the show on iTunes. So the more reviews, the greater the exposure that the show can have to new listeners and new people. So if you haven't left me a written review and a rating on iTunes, I would really appreciate if you could do that for me today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Do it today, okay? All right. Today on the podcast, I want to share with you a great conversation with a YouTube sensation. Her name is Sara Beth, and her business and YouTube portal is Sara Beth Yoga. I found her online after I had to make the really sad decision to quit going to my yoga classes in the evenings. And this is why, because it was getting really stressful for me to get there. Like I was leaving work, racing through traffic to get home, to pick the kids up, tag team with my husband so that we could make it to the gym, or I could be back so that he could go, or he could be back so that I could go. And it just got to the point where I decided that I wasn't enjoying all the hustle to be able to make it to my yoga class, because I would arrive to the yoga class and I was so stressful, it was hard to enjoy the class. I just got tired of racing to make it to the class on time. And half of the times I was late. So I decided to quit, and it was hard, but I knew that was not the way to enjoy it, because for me, my yoga practice was really like therapy. It would really help me to control stress, to stay focused, to challenge myself and my body. It really made me feel better. But now going there was stressful, so it was, defeating the purpose. So I decided I wasn't going to quit doing yoga. I was just going to look for alternatives. And I went online and I started watching videos on YouTube, and then I ran into Sara Beth Yoga, and I loved her classes, and I have been hooked since then. Now, Sara Beth, just to give you an idea of what she's done in the last 8 years that she's been doing yoga videos on YouTube, she has now over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's huge. I mean, YouTubers get awards after they get 100,000. Well, she's got to 200,000 subscribers. That's huge. She has more than 14 million views of her yoga video routines and her vlog. And we're going to talk to her today. We're going to talk to her about how she got started doing yoga, teaching it online. now running a very successful business as a YouTuber. She's going to talk about her fears, her wins, her challenges as an entrepreneur. And most importantly, she's going to give us a clear example of how, when you set your mind to do it and to work hard, you are capable of achieving whatever you dream of. Now, before we start, I want to let you know that Sara Beth Yoga is now launching her new app and subscription-based website. And at the end of the show, I will have more details for you. Now, Sara Beth Yoga is offering a special deal for those of you who are listening and who sign up early to her exclusive library and ad-free online videos app. She's got unlimited access to stream or download on your phone or on your computer all the Sara Beth Yoga library, the videos. She's got classes, full-length classes, calendars. There's over 200 yoga videos, no ads, ad-free. You'll have unlimited access. So if you're a yogi, you're thinking into getting into yoga, you need some way of doing yoga other than racing to the gym as much as you like to do that, because with our busy working mom lives, it's sometimes pretty hard to make it to the gym. It's pretty hard to make it anywhere. And then, try to hustle in traffic to get it to the gym. So if you are into yoga or thinking about getting into yoga, you should definitely check it out. And at the end of the show, I will provide you guys more details as well as an affiliate link for those of you who want to sign up. All right, guys, it's time to jump right into my featured interview with Sara Beth of Sara Beth Yoga. Okay, this is gonna sound kind of weird. You don't know this, but you have become, through your videos, Sara Beth, part of my days and my mornings routine. I really appreciate what you do, the energy that you bring to your videos, and the clarity that I am left with to begin my day. I have been wanting to have you on air on One Take because this is a space to seek and share wisdom and hope that it will help other people live a better life. And you are one of those persons that through your online work, I feel, are making a great impact in my life. Welcome to One Take, Sara Beth.
Oh, thank you, Yezmin, for having me. That is such a warm welcome. I have the biggest smile on my face right now.
I do too. Too bad we can see each other.
Right? Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. And I love communicating with people who are also powerful women on the internet. So I'm really happy to be talking to you.
And you know what's amazing? That I see every day more people sharing their stories of empowerment, sharing their success stories, and serving as an example for other women. And I think that before the internet, when you just had to go to work, there was a different sense. People were more competitive. They kind of kept to themselves because we kind of saw people at work as competition. But on the internet, I think we are all cheering each other. I love what you're doing. You're having so much success. You're growing so much. You have some great new things coming up that you're going to tell us later on. But let's start in the beginning. How do you start doing yoga? How do you find out about putting your videos on YouTube? How does Sara Beth Yoga start?
Okay, so is Sara Beth Yoga? Well, so I'll answer first how I started doing yoga. And that was when I was 16, I got into a luxury gym, a free week at a luxury gym. And I was like, sure, I'll take a yoga class, not really knowing what I was getting into. But I've always kind of grown up with little pieces of yoga in my life. Oh yeah, child's pose and happy baby, they're good for stress. So I thought, let's go to a free class. And I walked out sweating, drenched in sweat and so intimidated. But I felt really, really good and connected with myself. It was just this feeling that I kept chasing. So I kept going back, even though I was kind of humiliated when I was there, hiding in the corner, yes. And slowly I just started getting more and more into yoga. And one day I saw a poster up at a yoga studio that I was going to, and it was for yoga teacher training. And I saw it and it was just like, that would be incredible. I would love to do that. And then the immediate next thought was, who are you to teach yoga? Like, what do you know? You've only been doing this a couple of years. Like, you're not doing headstands in caves. Like, you don't know anything. And I just cut that out of my mind. Well, years later, when I dropped out of college because I wasn't in a place emotionally or mentally to be there, I had a kind of a panic. And I thought that, what am I going to do with my life? How am I going to, make money and still like be creative? And my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, he challenged me to look deep within myself and ask myself what it is that I really, really, really wanted to do. If there was no limitations, and that thought came up, becoming a yoga teacher. And he didn't listen to me when I started saying that it wasn't going to be a possibility. He just said, well, you'll know when you try. And so I signed up for yoga teacher training, and I really started finding my calling within that, the study of yoga teacher training, the philosophy of yoga, and the challenge of teaching classes, which is, by the way, like terrifying the first couple of times you do it. Maybe even like the first several times, or even the first couple of times you come back to doing it after a while. It's just scary, like public talking. So I started teaching a donation-based yoga class out of my friend's banquet hall, just a way to connect with the community. And I was challenging myself further. It was her idea, and I was like, all right, let's try this. But then things changed after a couple of months. I had a really good following there, and I loved that I was able to give yoga and the teaching of yoga and the things that I loved so much away to people, regardless of if they were able to give something back. And that had to end, unfortunately. The Om Room is what I called it. And so I looked at YouTube, and I was very inspired by other people that I saw on YouTube. They weren't yogis. They weren't in the fitness industry. They weren't in the fitness space, but they were people that were successful on YouTube. And I thought, I think I can try this. Let me try this, especially since I have a history of being a model. So I did. Yeah, so I tried it, and then several years later, I'm here today.
So when was that? When you started teaching at your friend's ballroom? Like how many years ago?
That must have been 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I got to tell you, your husband is a very wise guy, because he could have said, you really need to get a job. But instead, he encouraged you to look within yourself and find something you were passionate about. And it takes a lot of wisdom and maturity to be able to reflect on that and advise somebody you love on that. So I really commend him for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. He is really a wise guy. And he is the driving force behind a lot of the success in my business, because he's the person I turn to. And he gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and For Work Week, and The Magic Thinking Big, and like all of those kinds of books very early on. And we kind of built this together, even though I'm very much the face.
Even though you're the one on camera. And I've seen him, and he's pretty funny too, because I don't know if obviously you've noticed you have a couple, maybe one video you're doing in the kitchen. I think it's one of the Buddy Beach workouts, and he's walking behind you.
Yep.
In the middle of a pose.
He like gives me a high five.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. That's amazing. That's great teamwork. I mean, how's that for having a supportive spouse? That's amazing. I love that. So you go on YouTube. What did you study when you went to college? Anything related to media production or any of that?
No, I was very interested in psychology, and I honestly only went to college for I was there for a couple of weeks before I dropped out. It was one of those things where I thought to myself, this is what I'm supposed to do. And if I just go to a really prestigious college, and if I just shell out a bunch of money, I'll be really into it, because I really do love studying and I really do love learning. But like I said, I just wasn't in a place mentally or emotionally at the time, and I was trying to push that aside. And so yeah, none of my college or my high school gave me anything for the business that I'm in now. But really, it was 7 years of modeling, learning how to be in front of a camera, learning how to do PSAs and how to talk, and all of that really, really did help.
It really helped you. So you had to learn the technical side.
Ah, yes.
I laugh because I've done that for many years, and it amazes me how everything just keeps changing and you have to get caught up or you get behind.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the technical side is something different. So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges, through the last 8 years that you have had to face?
A couple that I can think of off the top of my head is, one, you have to grow a thick skin right away. When you put yourself out there, when you put your product out there, it's the internet, and not everyone is going to be pleased. And I think that when you really hone in on what it is that you're doing and what it is, like what your purpose is and who the people are that you're talking to, then none of the rest of that really matters. If someone else says they don't like this, well, maybe it's not for them. Like, okay, so, maybe go somewhere else. But this is for the people that do like it and the people that get me and get my product. Also, of course, like I said, it's the internet. So if you allow the trolls of the world to get under your skin, you won't last that long.
I think the internet, it's amazing to getting things out there and basically makes the whole world a potential audience. However, it also allows people to have anonymity when they are saying, mean, hurtful things. And yeah, that can definitely bring you down. One of the challenges that I faced starting the podcast was, would people make fun of me? I'm just making myself very vulnerable and putting myself out there, talking about different things, and will people make fun of me? And for a while, I thought about not even doing it, and then I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. Who cares? So yeah, the fear of being judged can paralyze you, but in your case, I'm so happy you didn't let that hold you back. Now, tell me about the modeling. What kind of modeling were you doing?
I was modeling in Minnesota, which was, very heavy with like catalog and print, and they had like Shop NBC headquarters there. So, there were times where I was working with Shop NBC. I'd be on camera from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. modeling jewelry, which is as glamorous as that sounds. Other times I modeled with Kevin Love, or I modeled with Lifetime Fitness, or I modeled with Target. And it was all really, really great. It was a lot of great experience and skill that I learned, but it wasn't really my industry, I guess.
Plus, it sounds like you had that creative side of you that you were not utilizing when you're being a model. It's that, your brain's going and you want to create things. And by creating your own YouTube channel and having control of the content and the content that connects with what you're doing and where you're at, that probably became a lot more appealing and fulfilling.
That's such a great way to put it. And it kind of ties into like the other biggest challenge that I have is, now that I am the talent and the creator and the editor and the producer, I do everything. I get to that point of working myself until I'm completely fried. Like I need to find that balance.
Yeah, definitely. And well, just keep in mind it's only temporary because at the rate that you're growing, you'll be able to grow your brand and your business and get some help.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually did just hire a production team this summer to take on the bulk load of the filming and the editing. And that just in itself, I was like, oh, that was a really good move.
What a relief. And
Right.
you were doing all that by yourself before? Would you just set up the camera and do your routine?
Yeah. I'd set up the camera. I'd go do yoga on camera. I'd take that home, import, voiceover, edit. Yeah, everything.
That's a lot of work.
It was. But, it was worth it.
Definitely. So, how many years would you say went by from when you decided to go on YouTube to today?
About 7, I think.
7. Wow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have over 14 million views.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
And I look at up and coming YouTubers, and I think to myself, I really want to tell them to just like, have a schedule and be consistent and persistent. And because I kind of dilly-dallied the first 3 years that I was on YouTube, I didn't want to admit that I was actually trying, so I didn't try. And then when I did start trying and I actually committed to a schedule, things grew pretty quickly after that.
So, did you not commit at the beginning because you were busy? Were you doing this on the side or did you go full time from the beginning? What was keeping you from that commitment?
A couple of things were keeping me from the commitment. The first thing was that I had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely no idea. And my very first videos reflect that, but it goes to show that with practice, you learn, you get better. So that was the first thing, is I had no idea what I was doing. I was learning as I was going. And then the other thing was just that mental block of treat this like a hobby, and if it fails, then it's fine. But if you treat this like a job or like a business and it fails, like that's a big deal. And but I'm glad that I got out of that mindset, because it was, I can look at my analytics and see that the moment that I decided let's do this weekly, and let's really treat it like a business, it grew. It was great.
And how did you treat it before? Were you just publishing whenever, or tell me about the difference then and now, and also tell me about the moment you decided, like what happened, when did the light bulb went on?
Yeah. So before, I would upload maybe once a month. I was learning a lot at the same time, but I knew that on YouTube, in order to be successful on YouTube, you typically have to upload once a week minimum. And I was afraid. I was like, it's so much work for me to create these videos. I just don't think I have it in me. And so I was uploading about once a month, maybe a little bit more often, maybe not as often. And I was learning at the time how to use things like SEO and how to rank videos and keywords. And I was learning how to get really successful with that. So I was starting to get like a fire under me about what I was doing. And what really, really motivated me too was the people who regularly engaged with me, because I all of a sudden was developing an avatar in my head based on those people and their feedback and what their little profile pictures looked like. So I knew who I was making these for. The turning point, though, was I met a now very good friend of mine. Her name is Robin Long. And she reached out to me to make a yoga video for her Pilates series, because she does something very similar. She has an online Pilates blog. And I was like, yeah, like I'd love to do that. And, where are you? And, oh, like we're actually neighbors. We live 10 minutes apart. Right. So we started going on walks just because we both didn't have anybody else in our life that truly understood what it was that we were doing online. And she encouraged me to go all in. And I could see with her success online and her business, she is definitely an inspiration to me, even to this day, just a total inspiration to me. So that was the turning point, actually. After I created that video for her Pilates challenge, I just started uploading weekly and then went all in. I also, around that same time, quit my job as a chiropractic assistant. So I had plenty of time. Yeah.
So, that's one of the things that is hard, because when you're working full time and you're trying to build an audience and content for your platforms, that's extremely difficult. I mean, I find myself spending, because I do have my full time job, but every minute that I'm not taking care of my kids or my husband, I am by the computer typing and writing and working on the SEO and working on graphics, and it can be so challenging. And there's been so many times that I've just thought, what am I doing? Am I crazy? Why am I doing this? Should I just drop it? And then, I go to bed, and the next day I wake up and I see comments or people asking, when is the next podcast coming out? Or, friends calling me, telling me that, because they listen to the podcast, now they feel better about troubles they were going through. And then I'm like, no, I need to stick to it, because one day I know this will become a full-time project. And this is the work that I need to put into it now to be able to launch it. So I am so glad that you stuck to it. And, things happen for a reason. Out of anywhere, your friend had to be 10 minutes away from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy.
Right. Yeah. And then if anyone else is listening and is thinking that, they'd want to do what you're doing or what I'm doing, but it just sounds like too much work. I have this phrase, keep it simple, silly, which is like the nicer way of KISS. But that was my mistake early on, was I set myself up with just this complicated workflow, and I thought that I had to film my videos in a different setting. So every time that I would film, I'd like tear a room apart. And like now I look back, I'm like, what are you thinking? Just film in the same room, like the same backdrop every time. Yeah, keep it simple, silly. And then eventually, where I'm at right now, and where I bet that you're coming to real soon, is learning to start outsourcing.
Definitely. Like you're doing now with your new series.
Yes, absolutely.
So now you are working in series. Are you still going weekly, or how is it going to work out?
So I'm still uploading weekly on YouTube, and that's not going to change. The last several years, I've been uploading in a series. So if you find something on my channel like Yoga for Sciatica, I have like 5 other Yoga for Sciatica videos, because I made an entire series around that topic. Now I'm uploading once a month of a different topic completely. So I'm kind of ending the whole series format, and I'm moving further into, let's start making videos that people have been requesting, like yoga for runners. So my YouTube will have a yoga for runners routine, and maybe a vlog where I talk about different ways that yoga can benefit your running, or how you can use yoga to supplement running. And then I'm also creating, I'm very excited about this. Every month I'm also creating a full-length class based around that theme that month. So Yoga for Runners will also have a 45 to 60 minute Yoga for Runners class. And that's just because I'm excited to get back into teaching full-length classes. And that was the way that I learned to teach yoga, and the way that I learned to sequence. And I think that my audience is ready for it.
And what amazes me about you is that you really connect with your audience, and you really listen to them. Just like you're producing these videos for runners, I see that you're doing also about, what you're eating. And something that I want to share with everyone is that maybe it was 2 months ago, I have a friend at work, and she was pregnant. She had her baby, and she was talking about how her back was hurting. And I recommended her to watch your YouTube videos for pregnancy. And I think she sent you a message and you answered within hours. And she told me she was all excited that you told her which ones she should be doing. And I was just amazed that you took the time to listen, to recommend some of the videos, just to be in touch with the audience. I know we're all super busy, but I really appreciated that you took the time and gave her some insight on the videos that would really work for her in that situation.
Yeah, my channel wouldn't be what it is. My business would not be what it is without the audience, without the feedback, without the engagement. If I was just making something and just putting it out there, I don't think that would be sustainable for me. So it's so important to me to communicate, and it's hard not to feel guilty about not having the energy or the time to respond to everybody all the time. And so I remember when your friend messaged me, and I totally just like felt her, because I was like, I was pregnant before, and I created the prenatal series and the prenatal program because when I was pregnant, I saw that there was just a lack of quality prenatal yoga online, whether it was for free or if there was a program that just lined it up for you. With that said, I do my best to engage and to respond and to comment, especially when people send me messages because they took time out of their day to write to me. But sometimes there's just seasons of life that are a little bit slower or lower energy, and I just don't have it in me to answer everybody or as quickly. And that's when I feel so guilty. But I feel like I'm just saying this now to put it out there. Like sometimes I'm like, on fire, like answering comments, I'm there. And then other times I'm not, but it doesn't mean like I don't appreciate literally everybody who takes the time to join me on the mat and takes the time to like and comment and message and share.
I don't think you should be feel guilty. I know we do. I do the same thing. Sometimes I don't check Facebook for a few days, and then I feel horrible because there's people that send me messages and I totally ignore them. But sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the social media channels and all the interactions. I mean, I do Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I stop there because I just can't handle everything. And I don't want people to feel like you're there, but you're not there. And I totally understand that. And I think people get it too, especially when they see the volume of interactions, comments that you get. I think people understand that you cannot always be there to respond to every single comment. And that's okay too. I think people know you, and I don't think they will take it personal.
Yes. Yeah. I hope so. But at the same time, like I said early on, if they do take it personally to the point where they're going to say something, then they just don't understand. And I can't take that personally.
Exactly. So we've been talking about some of the challenges. What would you say are some of your greatest successes?
I feel like the successes come in little bits and pieces. Obviously getting a plaque from YouTube for hitting 100,000 subscribers, that felt good. It felt good to be recognized by YouTube for my hard work and effort. And I have that on my desk and I like looking at it. And I have little milestones like that, like 200,000 subscribers, things like that. But at the same time, those are kind of vanity numbers, because are 200,000 people really watching all of my videos? I don't know. But when I begin to recognize faces and names from people who are commenting, and then I see those same faces and names commenting over on Instagram and on Facebook, and then I feel like I'm actually creating connections, that to me like is so fulfilling. Like I said, that it drives me. Especially when I start getting feedback that helps my channel grow. So that's, in a lot of ways, that would be one of the successes. Another one would be when I started selling classes on Vimeo. So before that, it was purely YouTube, which is just ad revenue, which is not extremely sustainable. So I made my first full-length class, which is Warrior Strength 60-minute power yoga class, and I put it on Vimeo, and it was crazy just because it was the first time I ever did it. But the reaction was great, and my audience was super excited for it, and they loved it. And again, I learned a lot, and I got a lot of great feedback. And just that was like a catapult for me to begin looking at how else I can provide quality yoga in a way that's also going to help my business grow.
I love that. I just love, and I don't think I can comprehend enough about the potential that anybody has making a living online. I mean, I haven't comprehended it at every, in every way, but I'm learning about it. And I think that anyone who has a desire to create their own business and create quality content to help other people, regardless of the topic, they have an avenue to do it online. And I am so happy that it's working for you.
Thank you. And I totally agree with you. It is possible, and it is a challenge because you're basically self-taught. And as you said, things change and you have to change with it. Otherwise you're dated. And, but it's a super exciting industry to be in.
I agree totally. Now, you are working like crazy every day. How do you juggle the responsibilities from running your business, raising your baby boy, being a wife, taking care of your house? How do you do it all?
So I am still figuring that out. But so far, since having Roman, who is my son, he's 16 months old now. Since having him, I've had slow seasons and busy seasons, and I've come to accept that that's been how it's been so far. So during the slow seasons, I may not put out as much, or I may not post as much. I actually just took a break in April for a couple of months, which was really freeing for me. And it allowed me to build my energy back up and reconsider my business. I was able to rebrand. I was able to reconsider what I was going to do with my business and move forward versus just continuing to do the same thing. And then when I came back to uploading and being on social media, the busy season began, and oh my goodness, it was busy. My house suffered. My family suffered because I didn't have any energy for dinner anymore. Yeah, I was, yes. But I have been finding my way, been finding my balance. And so far it has been that as much as I have wanted to be a stay-at-home mom full-time all my life, I really am enjoying this entrepreneur side of me and the fruit that it's bringing to the family. So I've come to accept that I think the best way to do this is for my son to be watched by someone else, even if it is 2 full days a week or a couple half days a week. And luckily I have a very good friend out here who has 2 kids, and she just loves my son, and he fits in really well with their family. So it's a nice, comfy situation for us. But that allows me to actually get work done, because I tried working while my son is home, and there's just no way. Even trying to work during naps is just too much anxiety for me, because then it depends on him having a good nap, and I don't want to put that pressure on him either. So that's been how I've been figuring it out. And then I'm learning how to say no. I'm learning how to take on less, because the purpose of all of this is so that I can spend quality time with my family and still have this creative outlet.
And I think the perfect example is you outsourcing the production. I think that was a very wise decision. And it's exciting for us to see what's coming up. You know, you're behind the scenes. All of that just creates more content and excitement about the new videos coming up.
Yeah. And it's been super exciting to put together. And it really is one of those things where I didn't think that it was possible for me to bring on production team, but the first step, similar to me getting into yoga teacher training, the first step is to just try to look it up. How much is it going to cost? And I'm so glad that I went that route, because it really did take a lot off of me.
It's amazing how the not knowing about the things that we want to do can sometimes prevent us from doing those. And it just takes that little bit of research of how much is this going to cost? Can we afford it? Can it be, can it pay itself from the future revenue, whatever it is the case. It's just that taking that step from the overwhelm to moving forward with research and see how can we move forward with new information to take new actions. I like that, and I love that you did that.
Baby steps.
Exactly. So we talked a little bit about what drives you. What would you say is your purpose, and how are you working towards achieving it?
I feel like that question is evolving, or that answer is evolving for me. My purpose has always been to be a mother. And I knew that. I grew up with knowing that. I felt that. And when I had Roman, my world changed. And I know, I feel everyone can say that when they have a child. So I remind myself that too, when I get too caught up in my business, is that, what is my purpose? And my purpose is to be with my family and to be, a good, I guess you could say, role model for my child, my children. I want to have a large family at some point. But I say that that's an evolving answer, because as I grow in my business, I'm starting to see that there's something bigger going on, and it's exciting to me. I don't know what it is, but just the connection that I'm having with people, hosting yoga retreats, and this big project that I'm working on now, it's very exciting, and it fulfills me in a creative way and in a connected way. And I feel like I get to communicate with women who are empowering each other every single day. And that to me is like such a community. It's such a great community to be a part of.
And we've been teasing to people from the beginning this new project that you have coming on. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to tell them what it is?
Yeah. Okay, and I'm so excited to talk about it, because I have been working all summer on this. It is the sarabethyoga.com membership site and exclusive members only app. So the app is like this bigger project, but it's available to members only. So people who sign up at sarabethyoga.com, they're going to get instant access to stream or download all of my 200 plus yoga videos, all of my yoga classes, whether they're old or new or future, all of my yoga calendars. So I already have a couple calendars out, like the 7-day yoga challenge, the month of yoga. It's a 30-day yoga challenge. I have the prenatal program, which is 7-day yoga calendars for each trimester. But each month going forward, I'll add a new full-length class and an associated daily yoga calendar to go with it. Because for me, I truly believe that your daily practice is your strongest practice. And I say this all the time because I really do believe it. And I'm not saying that you need to practice yoga for 60 minutes every day. I'm saying that even if you got on your mat for 5 minutes every day, 3 minutes, 1 minute every day, it would significantly positively affect the rest of your day. And it's just like that 1 degree difference that can get you back to feeling really good and connected, mind with body. So to make that easy for people to get on their mat every day, I'm really focusing on these calendars. I want to create these daily yoga calendars themed around flexibility or detox or beach bod, or, I'm getting a lot of feedback right now. So if people want to let us know in comments or something, yes, yes, because I'm still building it. But it's one of those things that, again, will grow as the community grows. And I'm really excited about it because previous to now, my videos were available on YouTube with ads. You could only stream them, or you could purchase them individually on Vimeo. But within this website, for less than the price of a drop-in yoga class each month, you'd have access to stream or download everything I've ever put out within this exclusive Sara Beth Yoga app.
And when is this going to be available?
I'm launching officially on September 1st, and I am using a founder's rate discount September 1st to September 7th. And that means that anyone that signs up during that time, it's basically my way of saying like, hey, like you've been with me for a while, or hey, you're listening to this podcast, and I want to give you like the best deal possible. So sign up now and you'd lock in that rate, because prices will increase as the library grows. But whoever locks in their rate, they'll have that rate forever as long as they're a member.
Awesome. So we're going to put the address, which is sarabethyoga.com, on the show notes. So anyone who's listening to it, maybe they're driving, they can take notes right now. We'll have all this information linked to the notes for the show.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, Sara, I think we've arrived to the end of the show. Anything else that you would like to share with us? Any other great projects you're working on? An invitation for people who may be afraid of yoga? You know, my husband says that when I go to my yoga classes, I'm just stretching. He has no idea. I'm like sweating like crazy. And, you know, I show him my biceps and I try to impress him. And he's like, yeah, that's just stretching, which is not really the truth. But anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that. I'd like to teach yoga as more of a modern day yoga, something that's very accessible for everybody. So I would encourage your husband to take one of my classes with you, so he can see just how hard you work, just how strong you are and what you've been doing. And, you know, if you want to make it easy for him, I have a beginner series, which is 10 to 20 minute yoga videos aimed towards beginners. That doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be easy, because the purpose of yoga is to challenge you, whether mind or body. But that would be a good place to start. And you can find that on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/SaraBethYoga. I have everything organized in the playlists. If you really love it, then you can access that to stream or download on the sarabethyoga.com website or app.
Love it. And everyone, remember, September 1st, check it out. You don't know what you're going to miss out. So check it out. Make sure you go to her website. And where can they connect with you? Are you mostly Facebook, Instagram? Which one is the best way to connect with you?
I think Facebook is the best way to connect. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram, but Facebook, it allows me to have more of a personal connection with people because we have real names there and real faces most of the time.
And emojis?
Yes, and emojis.
Excellent. So we'll put all your handles on the show notes for people to connect with you. Sara Beth, I have nothing but great appreciation for your time, for what you're doing. I have admiration for how much you've grown, for how you share all you know and you take care of your fans. I really appreciate you, and I really thank you for taking the time and sharing this with the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yezmin. This was wonderful.
I am so grateful for your time, Sara Beth, your wisdom, your inspiration. This is what life is about, finding it, sharing it. And I just know that I feel better after having these great conversations with my guests, and I hope that you are also in a better place. Now, don't forget to let me know what you think of the podcast through social media. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And my handle is the same at all of those, at Yezmin Thomas. YezminThomas. All right, let's get down to business with the details of Sara Beth Yoga's app and website platform. Okay, all this information you will find on my blog at www.yezminthomas.com yoga. You're going to find my affiliate link there to sign up. And for those of you who are new to the term or the concept of affiliate marketing, this means that this is a product that if you sign up for, I get a commission for it. Now, as an affiliate marketer, my principles are that I do not support or promote any products that I do not personally use, know, approve, support, find useful. So you guys know I've been doing Sara Beth yoga's classes online for a long time. Definitely think this is something you should check it out. I am going to sign up myself. So with that being said, this is what's going on. So the app and exclusive online content is going live September 1st, 2017. You're going to have, if you subscribe, access to the entire Sara Beth Yoga library. She's got videos, classes, calendars, both on the website and on the app that you can download. You know, if you travel a lot or if you can make it to the classes, you can either stream it on your computer or download it to your phone and just do your yoga routines wherever you are. If you sign up early, within the first week of the launch, which is September 1st to September the 7th, you will lock in the lowest rate ever, the founder's rate. That means that you're going to get a deep discount, and this is just for a limited time, just that 1 week. So if you're really into yoga and you're really interested, don't think much about it. Just go check it out and sign up early because the prices are going to be going up. And this is not just about the 200 or more videos that are already there. There's more coming every month. She's adding content. She's adding calendars, yoga videos, full-length classes. So you got to check it out. And I'll have all the details on my blog post for this episode, yezminthomas.com/yoga. All right? So if you're interested, check it out. The schedule for the rates runs like this. September 1st, 2017 to September the 7th, you get the founder's rate. Now, if you subscribe after September the 7th, you get the early bird discount. And if you subscribe after October 1st, you're going to get the regular rate. I'm going to leave it at that. You can go online, check out the prices, but I can tell you this. The monthly rate for the founder's rate, it's about the price of a Big Mac meal. Yes. I mean, it is really not expensive at all. You go online, you check it out, but it's a great deal. It's much less than what you would pay for to go to one class at the gym. I mean, this is really, really a good deal. So you guys better check it out. Go to yezminthomas.com/yoga for the details. With all of this being said, I want to thank you guys again for your time. Remember, connect with me on social media. I am at Yezmin Thomas on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and I always do the same thing. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. I think I'm going to launch my own interest social media platform because I say that so much. But also go ahead and leave me a written review and a rating on iTunes. And I guess that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I truly did. And I will talk to you guys on the next take. Remember, until then, just keep it simple.